location, location, location. That's the thing many successful businesses will tell you is the key to their success. Professor Ivan Turok believes for the economy to grow, it's vital that the South African government design its economic policy around the unique features of each region. He joins me now to talk on the importance of place and location for productivity, growth and development. Of course, thank you for your time, Ivan, for joining us. I suppose very relevant given that the State of the Province address is expected to take place in Gauteng with Premier David Makura. But where do you see the blind spots, would you say, Ivan?
That's an excellent question. And as you say, the timing is perfect. We're arguing that we need a better understanding of our differentiated geography in South Africa. If we want to improve our economy, we've got to drill down into places like Gauteng to understand the bottlenecks, the blockages. And infrastructure is obviously a major one. It's the fastest growing province, and so there's lots of congestion and there's lots of constraints on water for development and sanitation. And of course, the rail network is collapsing. So infrastructure should be a central theme for the speech and for public investment in the province going forward.
Yeah, but also this week, again, looking more nationally, the budget speech equally expected from Finance Minister eNCA. What's the ideal economic policy, would you say, that needs to be designed?
Well, what we're arguing in this piece of research is that our focus has been on sectors. We have master plans for different industries. We need to complement that with a more subtle and nuanced understanding of different places. Gauteng has different potential from the Western Cape, from the Eastern Cape. We need not just to have these national sectoral plans, we also need to plan for places much more effectively, integrated plans for these different places to bring together infrastructure with different industries, the private sector, in order to be more effective in our intervention.
Ivan, I'm very curious. If indeed economic progress depends on the quality of local skills, for example, why do you think there's a neglect on the role of space and geography, would you say, in favor of national averages, so even sectoral plans?
Because I think it's easier to plan if you think of the country as a single place, whether it's skills, whether it's water, it's sort of simpler somehow. But what we're saying is that that oversimplifies too much. Because the skill needs, right, in different cities and towns are different depending on the kinds of industries that exist there. So that's a perfect example of why we need to unpack skills to say, what do employers need in different places? Because it's not the same. In a mining town, you need different skill sets from what you need in a tourist resort, all right? So that's why we're arguing that let's sort of unpack. We're a nation, we want to pull together for unity in the post-COVID situation, but we also need to understand place more effectively than we have done in the past.
Yeah, and I understand that in this particular recent paper that you've also been a part of in terms of research and writing, you say we need to unpack, obviously, the performance of different provinces so we can better understand why certain provinces outperform the next, which I think, for me, really gives more clarity.
That's right. The president talks about leaving no one behind. We're also saying leave no places behind. We have parts of our country which are neglected. The country as a whole could do better. This is not just an agenda of fairness and solidarity. This is an agenda of economic performance. If all of our cylinders in our economy, all of our places and towns function better, the national economic performance would be improved.
Yeah.
So this can grow the pie. This is not just about slicing the pie in different ways. It's growing the pie to create more jobs and more investment and more taxes for the whole country.
If I may just leave you with this last question before I let you go, as we anticipate the budget speech on the 23rd this week, what would you like the minister to consider? I'm not sure if his speech is already concluded, but if it's not, or he can at least amend and edit anywhere in the last 30 seconds I have with you, Ivan, what would you like the minister to consider?
We need to invest in the fundamentals, in the infrastructure that will enable growth and development, the economic infrastructure and the social infrastructure that will improve the functioning of places, overcome the bottlenecks, the congestion, the constraints through a targeted public investment, I think is a key message.
Well, I appreciate your time this morning and thank you so much for speaking to us. Professor Ivan Turok from the Human Science Research Council, thank you so much for this important conversation.